Hi guys, I'm Jim and this is J&R Woodworking. And I have a question from a viewer. I thought it was pretty interesting about my Dubby sleds. Now you can hook these two together, that's what I do. And I have a very large panel sled where I can cut large panels. But mostly I use these for picture frames and boxes. Norm wants to know, he says, great video, but I have a question. Looks good for picture frame material, but what about a box, say 3 to 4 inches wide material for a box? Okay, I think what he wants to ask is, can you make a box on this? So, like say this one, with, see, what are my sides? These are 3 1/4 inch tall sides on this box. Well, you are limited to what size of a box you can make by how tall your saw blade is. This is a 10-inch saw, a hybrid, and I can go about 2.5 inches. Now, if you had a 12-inch saw, you'd get more height and you could go with a larger board. But he's talking about, I don't have a board laying here. We'll use this. He's talking about standing the board up, I believe. Which like I said, I'm limited to 2.5 inches. So this box I couldn't make using my Dubby by pivoting these to get the angles I want. If you want to build that, you can't use your Dubbies. We'll slide these back a little. You have to use your table saw with either in a combination of your fence or your miter gauge and this little jewel. This is what I use for my bigger boxes. Now this is a box that Jerry actually made when he was demoing these when I bought these back in, I can't even remember what year I bought them. I've had them quite a while and I use them almost daily. I make a lot of picture frames. And once you get your size set in your two fences on 45 or whatever frame you want to make, if you want to make a 6-sided, you put it on 30. It goes all the way up to 18-sided box you could make on here. But these boxes, he makes hundreds of them. And this material is 2 inches wide. So it's a 2-inch tall box. He makes these at the show, puts the bottoms in, he tapes them up, and he used to give them away. Now he puts them together, his wife paints them, which she does an awesome job painting, and they sell them. Just makes sense to me. But this little thing is what you want to use. They are relatively cheap. I should say they're inexpensive. They're not really cheap. They work just wonderfully. Let me move these right out of here. They have a zeroing capability. I forgot, put my battery back in. These things do have some type of memory that's running, I don't know. But if you leave the battery in and you don't use it, the batteries will go dead. And I've got this little box here, I keep it in and you can see I have a spare battery. But I do try to remember to pull the battery out when I'm not using it. Now, I'm not really going to do a review on this. I will show it to you. This is the style that I have. You turn it on here and it tells you what angle you have. It works really great. Now let me spin this camera around and show you the front of the saw, and I'll show you how this thing works. Okay, we'll get you up here close. Now the nice part about these things is what you want to do is you want to set your saw blade on whatever particular angle you want, like say a 45. So you want your saw blade to be on a 45-degree angle from the surface of your table top. Now your saw does not have to be level for these to work. We'll turn this one on up here so you can see it. As you can see, it is at 179 degrees. You push your 0. Now it is set 0 as if your table saw is dead level. It could be, I don't know if mine is or not. But now it has magnets in it, so you take it up, you put it on the side of your blade. I don't know if you can still read that or not, but my blade is set at 89.7, so it is awfully close to being 90 degrees. Now we're going to tip this blade. My old saw tipped the other direction, I keep forgetting. We want to tip this over, I don't know if you can still see it, to a 45 or a 30 or a 68, whatever you want. Now that is a perfect 45-degree angle. These things are so accurate, they're a little bit scary. The more expensive ones you buy, the more accurate they are. I think this one was like $29. And I believe this is accurate to within plus or minus a half a minute. Now that's darn awful close for woodworking. But this is what I use for making boxes like this. I set my blade at whatever angle I need, and I know it's dead on. So Norm, I hope that answered your question. I always like showing my dubbies. These are awesome sleds. I know a lot of guys out there on YouTube are making all these different sleds for doing different things. This one will do everything that I see other YouTubers making sleds for. When you can just get this one and it's done. I mean, it must be a good design and idea because Rockler now sells one almost identical to this. And apparently Jerry's patent has ran off of this because he's had these a long time. Patents are only good for 20 years. Then anybody can steal your design and ideas and start selling them as their own. But if I'm going to buy something, I'm going to buy it from the original manufacturer. If I'm going to pay somebody something, I might as well pay the man that designed it and built it. That's just how I do things. So until next time, work safe, have fun, and we'll talk to you soon.